Today we're checking out the new deluxe version of Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies, which I have to say is pretty awesome. Plus we're talking Ace Frehley and tons more. All that and more coming up next. All right, 33ers, how the hell are you doing? Today I'm pretty excited. I have an advanced copy of the $1 Billion Babies release to show you. This comes out March 8th. It's a 3 LP set that celebrates the album's 50th anniversary. It follows killer reissues of Alice Cooper's killer album and School's Out. I've seen the $1 Billion Babies listed for around 65 or 70 bucks in the US and around 75 or 80 bucks in Canada. According to the description on Rhino's website, this $1 trillion deluxe edition, I love that $1 trillion, that's like $1 billion with inflation is now $1 trillion. According to the Rhino website, it features a newly remastered version of the original album along with bonus material including studio outtakes, single mixes, and a 73 concert recording. The gatefold faithfully replicates the original textured snakeskin wallet design and comes complete with a $1 billion bill tucked inside. So that is pretty cool. Some of the bonus tracks on this album were initially released back in 2001 on this deluxe CD, which Rhino put out back then, but there are 5 additional tracks on the new version, including live versions of School's Out and Under My Wheels, and the single versions of Hello Hooray, $1 Billion Babies, Elected, and Marianne. All right, let's talk about the packaging first. I'm not sure if you can tell there on the video, but it has that textured fake snakeskin finish on the front of the album jacket and on the back of the album jacket. It also has that faux binding around the edges. It looks really good. The corners are rounded. This is supposed to look like a wallet, right? This is a 3 LP set, so it's a tri-fold. Folds out 3 times. Cool picture of Alice. Here's the, again, same as the original, you have the photos of the guys, almost like trading cards, and it's perforated, so you can pull those out if you want to. And here you have the billfold with the $1 billion bill. That comes out. You have additional photos and credits there. And the back is the same as the original. In terms of what was inside, you have a booklet here. This is a track-by-track breakdown featuring interviews with the surviving band members plus producer Bob Ezrin. The book is cool. I've just started reading this. I've only had a chance to live with this record for a couple nights, so I haven't had a chance to go through everything. But the booklet's full of information. It's really good. It would have benefited, I would think, from some additional photos and stuff like that. Right now it's a lot of text. It's text heavy, so that's sometimes hard to read. Let me show you the records. There is record 1, there is record 2, and there is record 3. I've put them in these anti-static sleeves. They came in paper sleeves. The main record came in this replica of the original custom inner sleeve, and the other 2 records came in these generic paper sleeves. I took the hype sticker off the front and I put it there. Word of warning, these records did come with quite a bit of static, so I took them out of the paper sleeves. I used my Zero Stat anti-static gun to clear all that off, and I gave them a bit of a cleaning too. They're so full of static. There's a lot of like dust and whatnot that had stuck to them, so that's the first thing I did. Got rid of the static, cleaned them, and then I put them in those anti-static inner sleeves. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the main record. And I made some notes here. I'm looking at the side because I always make notes when I listen to this stuff. When I listened to this, I compared it to this early Canadian pressing of $1 Billion Babies. Here's the 1970s pressing. Here is the modern day pressing. I gotta say the new version sounded really good. I did notice some differences between these 2 pressings though. On the new version, at least to my ears, on my setup, the high end sounded rolled back a bit, the bottom end sounded boosted a bit, and overall the record sounded crisper and cleaner, for lack of better terms. As I said, overall it sounded really good. I was impressed because I have been disappointed with some of the recent Alice Cooper reissues. Not the Rhino ones. Those Rhino ones have all been really good. But the Friday music ones, I can't remember if it was Killer or School's Out, but one of them wasn't great. So shout out to Dan Hirsch, who was the mastering engineer on this album, on the main album, and the live stuff and the bonus stuff, I thought he did a really good job. In terms of the live show, this is the original Alice Cooper Band live in '73, man. It's an awesome show. According to the credits, it was recorded in Houston, Texas in '73. And as far as I can tell, that is the same show as this album. This came out on Record Store Day a few years ago. Alice Cooper, $1 Billion Babies, Houston, Texas, April '73. So again, this live show is the same as this live show. And I thought it was the same as the live show that came out in 2001, but I'm not 100% sure. That's because when I looked at Discogs, Discogs tells me that this live show was recorded in Dallas and Houston, while again the credits to the new album say this was recorded only in Houston. So I'm not 100% sure what is going on there. I'll have to do back-to-back comparisons, and again, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I just got this album a couple days ago, and it's still relatively new to me. In terms of the other bonus materials, I really dug listening to the single edits of the 4 or 5 tracks. I think the 4 tracks on there. Specifically, I compared $1 Billion Babies and Hello Hooray to the originals, and being single cuts. They are both obviously a little bit shorter. Also on $1 Billion Babies, that hard panning during the verse is not there. Almost led me to believe that maybe it was mono. I'm not 100% sure yet though. I haven't had enough chance to really digest it and listen to it to say for sure. But what I can say is that vocal panning is not present on the single version. And the single version to me sounds like it was remixed at some point as well. The rhythm guitars seem louder and the lead guitars seem quieter. Could be my imagination. If you've heard it, let me know what you think in the comments. Overall, a cool piece for the Alice Cooper collection and different enough from the 2001 version, at least in my opinion, to warrant picking this one up. The 2000, again, was only available on CD, so it's cool to have all that stuff on vinyl as well. Side note, of course, I'm a total Alice Cooper nerd. If you haven't picked up the Quadio version of $1 Billion Babies, which Rhino put out last year, these are also still available on their website. This is in, I was going to say 5.1. It's not 5.1 audio, it's Quadio. It's 4-channel audio, and it works. It's on Blu-ray. You play this on your Blu-ray player, and sounds really good. Highly recommend this. And I also recommend this. Comes out March 8th. Check it out.
Love vinyl? Tell the world with a Channel 33 RPM t-shirt. Check out the Channel 33 RPM store today. Okay, what else? What else do we have here? I want to give a shout out to viewer Darren Hunt from Kentucky, USA. He's a big music fan and a fan of his local music scene, and he sent me over some bands to check out, including this one. Looks pretty cool. This band, or this artist, is called Tuck Smith and the Restless Heart. This album is called Ballad of a Misspent Youth. He sent me this. This band is called Denman, and it looks like it's signed. He sent me this release from a band called Disarray. This one from a band called The Tip, and he sent me some burned discs as well. So I haven't had a chance yet to listen to these. I just wanted to say thank you, Darren, for sending these. I will listen to them and come back with a full report on these. I'm mentioning this now because my next month is kind of crazy, so I may not have a chance to do a deep dive into these recordings in the next month. But as soon as I can, I'll come back and give a full report on this. But again, just want to pop in here and say thank you, Darren. I love checking out new music and new to me music, and this stuff looks absolutely intriguing. Thanks, man. Be back again, as I said, as soon as I can, talk about these releases. Channel 33 RPM.
All right, what else? Let's talk about the new Ace Frehley release, 10,000 Volts. Which just came out, and I don't have a physical copy of that album to show you, at least not yet, and I'll tell you why. Initially I went to Amazon and I pre-ordered it, and I thought I'm going to cancel that pre-order, and that is because the last couple Ace Frehley albums I pre-ordered and I really dug them at first, and I listened to them, you know, a few times, and if I'm honest with myself and with you, I haven't revisited those the recent Ace Frehley solo albums for years. Like, as I said, I got them, I listened to them, and they never stuck with me for whatever reason. So I didn't want to repeat that same pattern again. So I held off on pre-ordering this album. I thought I wanted to listen to it a little bit and digest it, kind of figure out if I'm actually going to like this thing before popping down some cash. Gotta say, I've streamed it, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 times, and it exceeded my expectations. This album, I'm going to say surprisingly, is surprisingly good, and I shouldn't be surprised, but maybe I am, just because of my experience with Ace's recent solo stuff. What can I tell you about this? I made a note here saying this may be Ace's best album since '78. Maybe. Though it's not without its faults. To me, standout tracks include the title track, 10,000 Volts, great riff, catchy chorus. I dig the third single, Cherry Medicine. On my first listen to that track, I was like, this is horrible. This is just, it's almost like bubblegum power pop music. But then I turned the track off and it was an earworm. It stuck in my head, and so I listened to it again and it's just completely grown on me. That song is super catchy, and I like the reference in that track to Ace Frehley's Shock Me. There's a line in there that says, Cherry Medicine, you make me feel better when you're in your black leather. And of course in Shock Me, Ace says, there's a reference to shock me, put on your black leather. So it's a bit of a throwback there. I thought that was cool. What else? I dig Fighting for Life. That's a heavier track for Ace. It's got double bass, and I can't recall too many songs in the Ace catalog with double kick drums, so that was pretty cool. Dig Back in My Arms again. Apparently that's a song that Ace initially demoed like 30 years ago. It's finally officially recorded and released. It's got a very 80s ballady kind of feel to it, but I dig it. I also like Blinded. The chorus talks about, you know, blinded by science. And it's really a warning about AI and artificial intelligence and that kind of stuff. So I really dig that. As I said, the album is not perfect. I'm not a huge fan of the production. It has that modern, clean, almost too perfect kind of production. And Ace's vocals, to me, to my ears, sound a bit odd. I was watching an interview Ace and producer Steve Brown did, and they were asked whether Ace's vocals were auto-tuned, and they said the vocals weren't auto-tuned. They do sound like they're auto-tuned, but if they're not auto-tuned, there's something going on. I think the vocals are just layered. There's layer upon layer upon layer of vocals, and maybe that's what's causing that effect. I don't know. I also don't love the fact that Ace doesn't play all the guitars. Producer Steve Brown, who's back in the day was in the 80s band Trickster, he produced this. He plays some of the guitars, and he has a co-writing credit on most of those songs. But yeah, overall, I think it's a really good record. Probably better than any of us could expect from Ace at this stage in the game. The guy's 70-something. There's no reason he has to put out an album really at this point. Well, maybe he does. I read he's $200,000 in debt to the IRS. Maybe that's why he keeps putting out records and touring. I don't know, but this album has been met with a pretty good, positive reaction. So my prediction, give it 2 years and there'll be another Ace Frehley / Steve Brown album coming out. I think those guys work well together, and this is a record I will be picking up. One final thing is that new Mick Mars album. Again, I didn't buy it. I wanted to hear it first. I really wanted to like it. I'm totally Team Mick. I tried streaming it. I couldn't even stream the album. It's not what I expected. I don't think it's what a lot of people expected. I expected bluesy, dirty riff rock, and it's kind of like a modern rock album. It just did not resonate with me, so I couldn't even make it through streaming that record. Am I missing out on something? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. All right, 33ers, what are your thoughts on these releases? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I will be back again really soon. Until then, keep on spinning.